What's up everyone, this is Dev. In this video I am going to talk about Deepseek R1 model and how to run a distilled version of it locally using Ollama as always. Currently everyone on every platform is talking about Deepseek R1. Probably you would also have heard about Deepseek from somewhere. Deepseek is a company and they have launched their first generation reasoning model Deepseek R10 and Deepseek R1. A reasoning model is a type of machine learning model designed to simulate human-like thinking and decision-making. Reasoning models aim to solve problems that requires logical thinking, planning, inference or connecting concepts to derive conclusions. The performance of Deepseek R1 is comparable to OpenAI's O1 model for math, coding and reasoning tasks. I will link the research paper for Deepseek R1 as well as the link to Deepseek's GitHub repo in the description in case anyone wants to check it out. Finally, in this video I am going to run a distilled model of Deepseek. But before that, let me quickly explain what a distilled model is. A distilled model is generally smaller but faster version of the larger machine learning model. It is trained to perform nearly as well as the original model, but is optimized to use fewer resources, making it ideal for tasks where speed and efficiency are important. Alright, here is the terminal and as always I'll use docker compose.yaml to pull Ollama's image to work with it. Let me show you how this docker compose file looks like. Now let me start the Docker container. Finally, let's get into the container to pull and use the model. Before pulling and using the model, let's go to the Ollama. As you can see, Deepseek R1 has 6 dense models distilled from Deepseek R1 based on Llama and Gwen, each one having different parameter sizes and requiring space based on the parameters. Well, based on my machine, I would go for a model with 1.5 billion parameters requiring 1.1 GB. Coming back to the terminal, let me use this command to pull and run the model. Finally, here is where you can prompt the model and generate the response. I'll send a complex programming prompt to this model and let's see how it responds. This is how the prompt looks like. Write a Python program that implements a multi-threading web scraper. The program should accept the list of URLs to scrape. For each URL, scrape the content of the web page, focusing on extracting the title and the first 200 characters for the test. Use Python's request library to fetch the content of the web pages and beautiful soup to parse the HTML. Implement multi-threading to scrape the URLs concurrently using the threading module. Store the extracted data, title and the first 200 characters in a JSON file where each entry is a directory with the URL, title and text snippet. Handle potential exceptions like network errors or invalid URLs. Ensure that the program can be run from the command line, accepts the file containing the list of URLs to scrape. Make sure to include comments in the code explaining the logic for each step and follow best practices for Python coding style. This is the part where the model is thinking what to do. Alright, here is the whole response that it generated. Let's go through the response. So this is where it stopped thinking and this is the place from where it started generating the response. Here is the Python program that implements multi-threading XYZ. It imports everything as required in the prompt. This is the function to read the URLs. This is the function to parse the URL, and this is the main function. So first it reads the URL, makes sure that the URL list was not empty, and declares the arrays, loops through the list of URL, and if the URL exists, it adds that URL into this array and follows the further logic to extract the data and store it in the item, and finally it runs this main function. Along with that, it has all this explanation of the code, and at the end it also has shown the example of how to use this Python file. And lastly, it also lists all the best practices that it used. Oh my god, it is just even considering the previous prompt just for accepting the thank you. This is amazing. This was the video on Deepseek, and I am really impressed by the response that it generates. I'm really bullish on the future of AI, especially generative AI. The current controversy around Deepseek is that although it claims itself as an open source AI model, it still collects the data of the user. Well, to be honest, I haven't played with it much, so I cannot comment on that topic yet. However, a lot of SMEs seems to have a very positive opinion about it and are already praising it. Anywho, thanks for watching the video. Let me know your thoughts about this and have a good day.